Yes, let's bring in our first panel. Joining me now is One Nation leader Pauline Hanson and Liberal Senator Alex Antic. Great to see you both. First, let's talk about the endless angst within the upper ranks of the Liberal Party. Gender quotas, heaven help us. The Daily Telegraph reports angry WhatsApp messages from senior members have been published. The party has discussed proposals to boost female representation. Not everyone is happy. One of the messages goes, "Oh my God, this is disgraceful. 40 years in the party and I've never seen anything like this. Unbelievable." And on it goes. Let's kick off with you, Alex, seeing as you are a member of the Liberal Party. Aren't there more important things for the Liberal Party, the official opposition in this country, to be concentrating on other than this rubbish about gender quotas? Alex.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for kicking off with me with that hand grenade. Very nice of you. No, look, yes, the answer is yes. Of course there are. The concept of gender quotas, the fact that we are still talking about them today is confusing to me. They are, I think ultimately they provide perverse outcomes in any of these sort of contests that we have. We've seen that many times over the years. I'll give you any number of examples of that where there just simply isn't one gender or the other, and therefore you have to elect the person that was left standing. That's not good for anyone. We want people on merit. I think it's actually a bit of an insult to people like, for example, Margaret Thatcher or even Pauline. I mean, Pauline's not standing here because of a gender quota. She's done the work and she's appealed to people, and she's the head of a political movement. That's got nothing to do with gender at all. It's got to do with capability. So I do find it odd that we're still talking about this, but I know as a bloke I am not allowed to have an opinion on this, so I tread with caution. I'm not allowed to have an opinion on this or reproductive rights. We can't have an opinion on any of these things, but I do have an opinion, and that opinion is that we need to walk away from gender quotas. The other thing to point out about this is we have seen time and time again that women are the people who are paying bills many times in the household. They're taking kids to school. What they're actually worried and will move their votes about are the things that move everyone's dial, which is the education of their kids, the cost of living. These are the sort of policies that women want to see, not the beltway bubble position of how many women you've got in a party room. That doesn't resonate in the real world at all.
Alex, thank you for that. Pauline, I want to ask you about something that I believe the Liberal Party should be talking about, but they seem to be heading completely in the opposite direction. This is the viral online activist known as Billboard Chris. We've had him on Outsiders. He's been here on Sky. He won a massive victory this week against the eSafety Commissioner, and this specific fight was to do with a transgender activist. The ruling rescinded a takedown order made by Julian Mann-Grant over a post that Billboard Chris made where he criticised a transgender individual. Now, I've spoken a lot about this, but this eSafety Commissioner, this really is something that any self-respecting liberal, conservative, libertarian, classic person of the centre-right or the right should be absolutely against, which is this level of censorship that the eSafety Commissioner brings. She keeps losing, Pauline. What does this tell us?
Yep. It tells us that she is incompetent or she shouldn't be in the job at all. By the looks of it, she's a person pushing her own ideology, her own agenda, and she gets it wrong every time. She doesn't get it right, and it's been overturned that many times. Now she's pushing about, what to stop those kids under 16 on social media, and then now she wants to tie in YouTube to it as well, which I think is wrong. A lot of kids get some good information from YouTube, so I think that it's just gone too far. I think she's out of her depth. I don't think she knows what the hell she's doing, but I blame Scott Morrison for creating this position and appointing this person to the position. She's on over $400,000 a year for what? And it's getting out of control. And good on Chris, Blackboard Chris, for actually winning that case against her. And more people need to challenge her. I wish she'd just disintegrate and be thrown out of the job. She's hopeless, useless.
Well, Pauline, on that point, I have a good friend who's a teacher, mathematics teacher, and he wrote to me saying that he was horrified at this idea of banning under 16s from YouTube because he actually uses YouTube for a lot of kids under 16 to teach them they go home and they study the YouTube various mathematical programs that make it very easy. They can learn it at home. They can understand it. YouTube is one of the great educational tools. And the idea that we're going to ban it for kids in this country, we are just so stupid. But anyway, I want to move on, Alex, to discussing Penny Wong, who's wandering around America at the moment, trying to drum up some kind of interest from the Trump team in Australia, which we have, of course, have abandoned. No one's interested in Kevin Rudd. Someone's got to tell Kevin Rudd it's time to go. Who do you think it'll be, Alex? Who's going to pull the plug yet again? Kevin Rudd must get used to this all the time. The main thing to do with Kevin Rudd is who's going to tap him on the shoulder and tell him it's time to move on. Who's it going to be, Alex?
Well, look, that's one for the Prime Minister, Rowan. But I think I might be the only person in the building that's actually met with the President myself. So
Excellent. Well
I don't
done.
know, but it's not going to be me. I can assure you of that. But look, I think the question here is really more. We hear rumblings coming out of the media in Australia. Is Australia as good a friend to the US as it used to be? Well, I think that's actually the question. It's not. The narrative here is not, is the Trump administration a bad friend to Australia? I think it's actually, well, why is the Trump administration clearly not dealing with this government? I mean, they are clearly putting this Prime Minister in the freezer. I mean, I've met him. How come the Prime Minister hasn't? How come Richard Marles hasn't? And Penny Wong, I don't know what is happening there. It's good that she's meeting with Marco Rubio, but, at the end of the day, the two leaders should have met a long time ago. And in fact, it's simply not happening. So I think the question here is whether or not Australia is as reliable ally now to the United States rather than the other way around. And it is critical. We need the United States as a strong ally. And this relationship has got to be properly curated by this government. It is not being at the moment. And that is a real worry because on our own, we last about 10 minutes against a foreign adversary.
Absolutely. Just very quickly, Alex, what was it like meeting Donald Trump?
I found him very agreeable. He's very likeable. He's very charming. He's everything the Australian media have said he's not. And that's part of the problem here. I mean, the Australian media have just demonised this guy, and it's, you haven't, but the others have. And it's just, it was not my experience at all. I found him to be quite charming. So there you go. Maybe they could send me over.
Thank you, Pauline Hanson and Alex Anter. Always great to have you here on The World, according to Rowan Dean. Thank you so much, and we'll speak again soon.